Hi, class. My name is Hazel Vergara, and I am here to talk to you about the disease called Huntington's disease. I actually never heard about this disease until I actually got a patient at my job with this type of disease. So as soon as I found about this disease that this patient had, I went ahead and I researched it because I've noticed a lot of things that is not common with certain patients, and especially they don't really belong on some sort of med search floor. So as soon as I researched this, I decided to go ahead and do this topic as my informative speech. Sorry it took too long for me to do this video. It's because I've been struggling with my mental health, and being a single parent with one income and doing everything on my own in my own household, it's just been very difficult to balance things between school, between being a parent and working. So I apologize if I took a little longer than expected, but so what I'm here to talk about is the Huntington's disease, and to educate you what this is all about. So pretty much what this is all about is it's not a disease that is very common on a certain individual. It's more genetic base that is being passed down from one parent to another parent. And what else? It affects mainly a lot of Americans, about 41,000 Americans that are symptomatic, and 200,000 Americans who are at risk of inheriting the disease. But like I said, I've never heard about this disease until I end up having this patient. And this patient that I have at the hospital is around, I want to say she's in her 50s. She was married to her husband, but unfortunately her husband was unable to care for her, so her husband dropped her off at the hospital, which is pretty sad. But at least, the patient ended up being in the hospital, being safe. However, with that being said, she has had a lot of personality changes, mood swings, suffers from depression. She knows what she's doing. However, it's the disease aspect that she can't control, which I totally understand. She ends up being violent when she doesn't get her own way. She ends up jumping out of the bed, or just anyone. They have uncontrollable movements that they can't control. And in one of the research topics that I picked up off of Mayo, it had mentioned about, let me just pull up the link. Give me 1 second. In Mayo, in one of the links that I encountered, it had mentioned about, let me just, give me 1 second. Sorry for the long pause, but I'm getting the link right now. But it's really sad what this disease does to one person, because we don't know what type of a disease this happens. However, the disease process is not very common in the I've never heard about this disease in my entire life. So this is the first time that I've heard about this disease. And like I said, it has no control over oneself. What we can do is, not really give up on the person. If you really love the person and you truly love the person, you would, get help, get support. However, with this individual patient that I've had, the individual's spouse wanted to give up on their marriage, which is pretty sad because it's really sad how an individual who's diagnosed with some sort of disease or mental illness just wants to give up on their marriage or their family member, which I've seen a lot have happened, not just with this type of disease, but with any type of mental health disorder. They just want to give up on that family member. But what you can do is to really just reach out, get support for that individual who is having trouble with this, with any disease, because it's hard to process any sort of disease. But with that said, that concludes my presentation on Huntington disease. Thank you.